Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another edition of Stout Sunday. And joining me, we have Alex, the Beer Master. He is joining as an observer this morning. Glad to have you, Alex. We've got Michael Kormaroff from Brooklyn.
Good morning.
Good to see you again, Michael. We have got Robert, the Whiskey Scout from the great state of Kansas. We've got Ronnie S., who is currently residing in the wonderful state of Florida. It looks like he's enjoying it, sitting outside. Nice day today, Ronnie.
Beautiful day.
And you've got yours truly, John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews. So we will go left to right. Michael Kormaroff, what stout are you drinking today?
This is Kalamazoo Stout from Bell's Brewing of Comstock, Michigan, and it's named after their original brewery, which was in Kalamazoo. Comstock is a suburb of Kalamazoo, I believe, and they've moved the brewery since. It's a stout brewed with brewer's licorice and 6% alcohol, 51 IBUs, and the date on this is 3/8/2019. Bell's gives a 6-month shelf life date, so it's within the 6 months. I've had this beer before, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. This is what it looks like in the glass.
Nice.
A beige solid head, dark brown. You want everybody else to give the description, then we'll come back and do the...
Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll go to Robert, the Whiskey Scout, next with his stout.
All right. I have Left Hand Brewing Company Wake Up Dead Imperial Stout. It is 10.2% ABV, 45 IBUs. This one I've not had before, so I bought this about 2 months ago. I do not remember what I paid for it, but anyway, that's what I'm looking forward to this morning.
All right. Sounds good. We will go to Ronnie S. next. He does not have a stout this morning, but we have a smaller group, so anything goes today, guys. So
Yeah,
what beer are you drinking today, Ronnie?
I'm observer status as well, but I've got a Michelob Amber Bock. This is a Vienna style lager. 5.1%. IBUs undisclosed.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and let you. You might as well give a review of it since you're joining us. But we'll come back around after everybody's poured and tried their beers here. I've got the Evil Twin Imperial Wedding Cake Break, which is 11.5% alcohol. It's an Imperial Porter stout with coffee, vanilla, almonds, and wedding cake added. So
John seems to always have these cake things. You had the Mexican cake.
Yeah, that was the Westbrook, Mexican cake. I wonder how they add the wedding cake to this. I'm looking for natural flavors on here, but I don't see it.
That's a mystery to me,
Maybe
Joe.
they actually do take like the icing or something and put it in the beer.
That would be gross.
Because usually it would say natural flavors added, but it actually says wedding cake added. So anyway, this is one of the ones that is brewed at the Westbrook Brewing Company in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, which is Westbrook and Evil Twin actually do a lot of collaboration beers together. So this one is brewed at their brewery. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give mine a pour. We'll go back around to Michael, and you can tell us a little bit about that Kalamazoo Stout.
Okay, let me give it a nose. I'm not getting any coffee in the nose. I'm getting kind of a dark chocolate, like a baker's chocolate in the nose. Some roasted malts. Let's see if there's anything else. Maybe maybe a little bit of coffee in the background, but it's definitely not It's not a Lee taste for sure. Let me give it a taste.
Cheers.
Well, it definitely follows the nose. It's very roasty, dark roasted malts. There's kind of like a char to it, like a little bit of a smoky kind of feel to it, like a burnt feel. But it's not burnt to the point where, you know, it's negative. It kind of holds the line. It's balanced in that way. You can definitely taste though the char in it and the roastiness in it. I'm not getting any licorice taste at all. I didn't have any licorice in the nose as well. Not really getting any coffee in the taste either. Maybe there's a little bit in the nose. Not really anything strong in the taste. I'm just going to mull over it, and I'll give you a number later.
All right. Sounds good. It sounds like we're getting a lot of the same things. When I had it, I wasn't picking up on any of that either, the licorice or the coffee. But anyway, it doesn't mean it's a bad beer. It's just false advertising, Bells. Come on.
We expect
all right.
more.
Right. So we will go back to Robert over there, who is enjoying his Left Hand Brewing Company Stout. How's it tasting there? Or how's the aroma? How's the flavor?
The aroma is dark roasted malts for sure, right up front. Then you get a little bit of raisin. I get the raisin there is kind of dominant. There's a little background chocolate, definitely on the nose. It's not a on the nose. It doesn't come across as a bitter dark chocolate, but now when we get to the palate, that's going to change. I like the mouthfeel on this one. This is a very full-bodied beer. It is very enveloping in the palate. Again, the roasted malts, again, the raisin, and it is a little bit bitter on the sides of the tongue. It comes across more bitter than some that have had higher IBUs to me than this one does. But the bitterness is okay. It's kind of, you expect that, I think. You know, I do anyway with any sort of stout that's got 30 or 40 IBUs in it or more, you know. But the bitterness rests on the sides of the tongue. That's good. And that brings more of a bitterness to that dark chocolate note you get in it. Palate pretty much follows nose. That's a good long finish to it. It just lingers. But the mouth feels excellent on this one. That's very enveloping. Almost, I don't know if it's because it looks like a dark cola to me, but there's almost a slight cola bean in there. Like flat Coca-Cola, you know? It's there too, but it's not very prominent. And you only get it like at the tail end of the palate when you start into the finish. But there's a little cola note there to me.
Right. Yeah. I've gotten that with some stouts before. Some of the really malt forward stouts where, you know, you get, or at least I get some of the cola notes that you're describing. It's an interesting note, but I mean, it's definitely there in some of those beers that I've had, especially the higher ABV ones, the higher the alcohol, you know, and then like bourbon barrel aged stuff too. I get that. So that's not odd that you're getting that.
Well, I did read on the website just a few minutes ago, they do age this for 4 months before they release it. So
okay.
They didn't say what kind of barrels they age it in. So I can't speak to that, but I like it.
All righty. Well, we'll let you keep sipping on it. We'll come back around here shortly. I will go ahead and give a quick breakdown of mine, and then we'll go to Ronnie S. with his Michelob Amber Bock. So the Evil Twin Imperial Wedding Cake Break, 11.7%. It's an Imperial Porter, poured like a stout. Had a nice 2-finger head on it, which is dissipated now. With the 11.7%, I wasn't expecting the head to stick around very long. It smells very malt forward, very sweet. I'm getting notes of dark chocolate, some vanilla. I'm not really getting anything that screams wedding cake. It just smells like a malt forward stout. The 11.7% is not coming through on the nose. It doesn't smell super boozy. It just smells really malt forward. The main aroma is dark chocolate. And it definitely smells like it's going to be sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 Dark chocolate's the first thing I'm getting. There's a definite like super darkly roasted note in the middle. It's like it's not burnt, but it's like darkly toasted white bread. It's got almost some barrel aging notes to it. It's not bourbon barrel aged or anything, but it's got a little bit of that, what I would describe as a barrel presence. Coffee. I'm getting a little bit of coffee. This does have coffee added, but it's not super in your face. It's very mild on the coffee. And it does have vanilla added. I said I was picking up on the vanilla, so that's coming from the added vanilla, which that could be what I'm interpreting as the barrel aging, because a lot of times your bourbon barrel aged beers are going to have that vanilla note from, because bourbon has vanilla notes to it from the oak that it's aged in. I'm not getting the almonds. This does have almonds added and wedding cake. I'm not getting the almonds. I'm not getting the wedding cake. It's just very malt forward, very pleasant.
Isn't it possible the vanilla is the vanilla cake?
Well,
good question.
It has vanilla added, and then according to the label, it also has wedding cake added, which could have vanilla in it as well. I don't know how they incorporate wedding cake in this. I'd be interested to know, but I tried to look it up on the website. I went to Untapped. There really wasn't too much information about it.
Just drop some cake into
If you go to the Evil Twin website, they have a lot of information on their basic beers, but there's about 20 different variations of certain beers, and you just can't find out about it. Like the Imperial Chili Hazelnut Biscotti Break that I did with Michael. He had the standard variant, which was on the website, but the version that I had was not on the website. So this is one of those that's kind of like, I don't know. There's really not a lot of information on it. So it's
obscure, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Alcohol masked like a lot of their other beers, so it doesn't taste like 11.5.
Right, 11.5. It's definitely not. It doesn't taste like 11.5, but it is warming going down. You can tell that it's a higher ABV beer.
You think they
and the
might
body.
make some cake and they toss the cake in the barrels while it's made?
Possibly. I think probably they used like the icing or something from the cake. Something, I don't think they blended the whole cake in there, but probably the icing for the wedding cake, which is very sweet, which this beer is very sweet. So that would make sense. I mean, it's definitely very sweet. There's no bitterness at all. The IBUs are not listed. I tried to look it up on a couple of websites. For whatever reason, Evil Twin does not list the IBUs for a lot of their beers. This one is nowhere to be found. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it. It's another winner from Evil Twin. I'll keep sipping on it, come back around, and give you guys a rating shortly. But in the meantime, we will go to Ronnie S. Well, actually, really quick, we've got Jeremy Vincent in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, Jeremy. Kent Beer Reviews is tuning in. He says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Cheers."
Good morning,
And we've got Triple J 1872 in the chat. Says, "Good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching this Stout Sunday." So,
Good morning.
all right. So, Ronnie S., how's that Michelob Amberbach?
So I have the Michelob Amber Bock. It looks like a stout, right?
Yeah, a little lighter, but yeah, I mean, getting there. It's definitely darker than your average beer.
Right. It's a Vienna style lager. Very comparable to the Modelo Negra. I would say I like the Modelo Negra a little bit more than this one. It's a little stronger, I think. This one is a little on the light side. It's a very good smell. know, would you call it malty? Maybe. Get some malt coming through.
Right.
The taste is very, it's crisp, man. It's like it's not that much different than say an adjunct lager. Just has the nice malty Vienna style added flavor to it, the darkness. But it's it's not boozy at all. It's very tasty, and yeah, I mean I just had it in the fridge and I wanted to join you guys. I didn't have a stout, but I do
That's
like
all
this
right.
beer. I do like this.
Well, happy belated birthday. Your birthday was what, like 2 days ago? So
Yeah, 2 days ago.
happy
Thank you.
birthday.
There, Ronnie.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I actually celebrated more yesterday than I did on my birthday because it was a rain out. It rained all day on my birthday, which
Okay.
seems to happen almost every year. Oddly enough. But I had a good time yesterday, though. Yesterday I went out with the wife to a nice little beachside restaurant bar. That was cool.
Oh yeah, okay. I saw the pictures you posted on
Yeah, I put like
Facebook.
some pictures of the sunset going down.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we'll let you keep sipping on that Amber Bock and come back around, and you can give us a rating. Let's see. We will go back to Michael Kormaroff with his Kalamazoo Stout.
After listening to Robert's description, mine is also bitter. It's 51 IBUs, and there's definitely bitterness here. But it's, again, more on the side. It's not in-your-face bitterness. So it seems like they've done a good job of balancing the bitterness with the roasted malt. So it's a good combination. And the bitterness is a positive in this case. It's not overly bitter. So I do like it. John, you gave this a 92. I'm going to give it a 93. So it's not world class, but it's certainly a very good stout. And a 93 for me is an A. So I'm giving it an A. It's not an A plus, but it's a solid A. Now, I guess I'm taking points off for the fact that they're going to tell me that they're using licorice in it, and yet I can't taste it. And they're saying that they don't say anything about coffee, but I assume in this type of stout, they do say coffee. Flavors of dark chocolate and freshly roasted coffee. If anything, maybe a little bit in the nose, but not in the taste really of coffee. But
Michael, you don't taste the licorice, and John doesn't taste the wedding cake.
I don't know. Maybe sometimes with these beers, the stuff they put in with it is more hype than it's going to come out in the taste. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much brewer's licorice it would take before it would taste, if you know what I mean. Maybe you have to put in a ton, and they don't want to do that, so they do it more as this is their method of saying they have a beer brewed with brewer's licorice, but it doesn't taste like any licorice.
It doesn't come through. Yeah.
Right.
I'm
more of a gimmick than anything, or like a marketing ploy.
I'm trying to find it, and it's just not there.
Yeah, I tried so hard to pick up on that licorice. I mean, it just, even as it warmed, I let it warm up for like an hour and then drank it, and it's still I didn't get anything. But like you said, I mean, it's still an excellent beer. It doesn't detract from the fact that it's an excellent beer. It just, for me, it gets a 92, which is an A minus. It didn't quite make it into the solid A range because I wasn't getting those flavors that they promised me on the label. And
in fairness to Bell's does brew some stouts that are in the world-class area. So it's not like, this is it's a regular offering. This is available, year-round. Some of their other ones that are at a 30th anniversary one that they had a couple of years ago that was amazing. I think I gave it.
Yeah, the one that I had, and I've had it years ago. I can't even find it anymore. I don't even know if they make it, but the Expedition Stout. It's got like the compass on the label, and anyway, I thought that was dynamite.
I think
I haven't seen it in probably 4 or 5 years.
World class range as well.
It's up there. Yeah, that one was up there for me. But like I said, it's been 4 or 5 years since I had it. So and honestly, they may not even make it anymore because I have not seen it. So anyway, all right. So,
but this one is also readily available. I think You notice that
Yeah, that's year round. Yeah, you could buy that one
you
year round.
probably can find this in Florida as well. But Bell's has fairly national distribution, I think.
Did you get that in the co-op over there?
I got that in the food co-op. And John, it's funny. You said a 6-pack for $9.99. I paid more than that in the co-op this time, which shows you things average out.
Oh,
Paid not much more, just $1.76, which would come out to $10.54 for a 6-pack. So it's minimal difference. But I wanted to have it again. So I mean, it's not like that's going to make any difference.
Right. And I'd rather be able to buy a single of all these different beers and try more stuff. But unfortunately, in Georgia, the only places I can buy singles are Kroger and Publix, and their selection is somewhat limited. They have great stuff, but it's not to the extent of some of the liquor stores, the package stores that I go to in Peachtree City.
Oh, wow.
The problem with going to those places, they have a great selection, but you cannot buy singles of everything. You have to buy the 6-pack. So that's why I buy so many 6-packs. Because, yeah.
They
So,
don't have like a store you can go into, John, that gives you like a little 6-pack or a 4-pack carton. And you can go in there in Kansas and you can fill it up with whatever.
They do, but not at the big stores that have a really great selection. Only at your big like supermarket stores like Kroger and Publix.
Wow.
Publix, do they have the Pick 6 over there, John?
They do. It's just it's limited. It's not like the really nice places where I want to break open a 6-pack and make my own. You can't do it. They don't allow it.
You need to come to Kansas and go to Google's.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I told him he needs to come to Kansas and go to Goble Liquor with me. You'd go nuts, John.
I'm sure I would. Now, when I lived in Columbus, Georgia, I could have a package store right down the street that was my go-to spot. They knew me by name in there, and you could break open anything. A 12-pack, you could break open a case of beer and take a single out. It was one of those places that anything went. But unfortunately, they don't have that here in Newnan. Also, when I lived in Columbus, Georgia, they had drive-through windows at the liquor stores. They don't have that here. So
Louisiana,
Columbus, Georgia was a lot different than Newnan. Columbus is a big military town too, with Fort Benning, so they kind of catered to it was just a completely different environment. Here, it's a lot different here.
Well, then John, then move back to where you were living before.
Newnan.
You're not saying that the
I like
military
Newnan.
doesn't
They
drink,
just have some strange alcohol laws here. Can't even buy liquor in my county. That's the whole. We've talked about that before. That's a whole nother examination right there. I have to go to the next county and buy liquor.
You should do an examination about that, John.
Maybe I will someday.
Interesting topic to talk about.
Alcohol laws, dry state laws. We could go through the whole thing. It would be fun.
Yeah,
maybe we can bring that up to Ron. I'm sure he'd have some good stuff to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to do that at some point. But anyway, let's see. Let's go back to the chat real quick.
Every state is different. Every county.
Yeah, every state, every county. I live in 15 minutes away from Peachtree City, and you can literally buy anything there. But here we get these liquor knockoffs at the gas stations because they can't sell it legally here. But anyway, I don't know, strange.
It's very interesting, man.
It is interesting. It's interesting, but it just shows you how stupid some of these laws are. But anyway, let's go back to the chat.
How are the blue laws where you're at, John? Do they sell anything on Sunday?
Yeah, just after 12:30. Can't buy anything before 12:30.
I think there is no blue laws, or at least where I'm at in Florida. I can go to the store like 9 o'clock in the morning, and they were selling beer to people.
We still
in Alabama it's the same. My mom does her grocery shopping every Sunday morning after church, and she buys her case of Mick Ultra at 9:30 in the morning. There's they don't stop her, but you can't do that here.
Where does she live? A different county in Georgia?
Alabama, Montgomery. It's where I grew up.
Okay.
In New York, you can't buy it. You can't buy it until 11 o'clock here.
Yeah, but the thing is, in New York, I can tell you from experience, a lot of the stores don't enforce that.
Okay, but the co-op enforces it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you go to
Well,
like
they enforce it
CVS
here
or
because they
7-Eleven,
have the cash registers set up to where when it won't even allow you, even if you wanted to, you couldn't ring it up before that time. It won't let you.
that's the
So
like
we
the
got
big corporation.
Flacco in the chat says, "Good morning,
have it set
folks.
up.
Cheers. Good morning to you, Flacco. Thanks for tuning in." We've got
Flacco.
Friar Tuck is tuning in. Says, "Cheers, fellas. Drinking a Keystone Ice while watching here from Connecticut." Well, thanks for tuning in, Friar Tuck. Keystone Ice is
Ask him how Robin Hood is.
Friar Tuck. Friar Tuck is a good. He's actually been on YouTube for years.
I never.
I don't
is
think
that from Robin?
he actually has content, or he used to have content. I don't know if he still posts reviews, but he used to do, or he's done a couple of reviews in the past.
I know
that I've watched.
He's in the comments a lot. Fire Tuck.
Let's see. Friar Tuck says, "Have you ever had the Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout?" Yes. And when I went to Louisiana last weekend, I picked up a 4-pack, and you'll see a review coming out soon. We did a group review on Louisiana Beer Reviews. Myself, David, and Ronald Terrio, we all reviewed it together. He hasn't posted the video yet, but look out for that.
Hey, John, I want to say I'm enjoying those group reviews that you and Ron are putting out.
Oh yeah, well thanks. We had a
there.
lot. It was a lot of fun doing those.
Looked like you guys really had a good time over there.
Right? Yeah, we did.
David's
we had
a funny guy, man. That guy David.
Yeah. So Friar Tuck says, "Has John lived in Georgia his whole life?" No, I was born in South Carolina and grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. I've only lived in Georgia for like the last 6 years. 4 years in Columbus, Georgia, and then now the past 2 almost in Noonan.
John's a well-traveled Southerner. He's been to every Southern state.
Right. And then Triple J 1872 says Georgia has home rule law, which leaves a lot of decisions to the counties. Yeah, every county's different here. Friar Tuck says, "When I lived in upstate New York, the laws on alcohol sales were determined by county, but I haven't lived there since 1999. I think it's still the same. I think the counties dictate the laws like that. Michael, isn't that the case in New York? Or different counties have different alcohol laws up there?
In New York City, I think it's even in the suburbs too. They have just that one Sunday law. Other than that, it's do whatever you want.
I think the Sunday law is actually between like 3 a.m. to like 7 a.m. on what's like Sunday morning, Saturday night. You can't buy beer a lot of times. They won't sell it to you.
Right.
Then they'll actually go and lock up the coolers and stuff like that. I mean, some of the gas stations get pretty. They enforce it a lot. Have you ever come across that, Mike?
Yeah. I know in the food co-op, and I don't usually shop on Sunday morning, but they
well, like a real late Saturday night.
Yeah,
after
probably
3 a.m.
they would give you trouble, I would think, but I'm not sure how the actual laws are written though. What the time demarcation is when they stop. I know you can get it at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. Where it starts, I don't know.
I think it's after 3.
Maybe it's 3. Maybe it's 3 in the morning. You can't get it, and it's only on Saturday night because the rest of the week.
Yeah, that's the only night of the week.
You can get it whenever you want, wherever you want. There's a lot of 24/7 places here too, so you could definitely find beer pretty much all the time. You can't find hard liquor because liquor stores have set hours and they have to close by a certain time. But I know there are some that are open at midnight, so I mean it's not like they close early, and it depends on what their schedule is. And they're allowed to be open 7 days a week, so they have to wait till 11 o'clock on Sunday to open. They can be open on Sunday.
I think in the past they weren't allowed to, right?
No, that was maybe a law from 10 or 15 years ago when they started to allow them to do whatever they wanted as far as the days.
Yeah,
it started out where they switched it, could switch days, and then they said you can have all 7 as long as you're open for this amount of hours. They can't be open for an extraordinary amount of hours. You can't open at 7 in the morning. I think they can open like at 10 in the morning kind of thing.
But I remember there was a time when liquor stores weren't allowed to be open on Sunday at all.
I think
that was a while ago, though.
I think that's true.
Right. Yeah, and that was a state thing too. Georgia, up until like 2013, I think it was like that. You couldn't sell alcohol at all in Georgia on Sunday, or at least in most counties. But anyway, they changed it, and it's a lot better now. But it's still some work to be done. But anyway, before we get too off topic here, I want to make sure we get through everybody's review. So we've got to go back to Robert, the Whiskey Scout, and he's got to give us a rating on that left-hand stout that he's drinking.
Well, as it's warmed up, it's gotten much better. So all of our talkings really helped us out a lot, because I was originally going to give it a 93, but I've changed that to a 95.
Nice.
And
Okay.
the mouthfeel is excellent. I mean, this is really a rich. I think if it had some more bolder flavors in it that would really send it over the top, this would be definitely a 97, 98. But it's on the cusp of really being super good.
Now the alcohol, 10%, right? So
Right, 10.2.
or 10.2. Are you getting any? Is it boozy at all, or
just a little bit of that slight? You know how you get that little bit of that slide on the back of your tongue where you can just kind of taste it just a little bit? Yes, I do get it a little bit on the back of the tongue. Is it bold, overwhelming, or detracting from the experience in any way? No.
okay?
But there is a little note there, just a little slight note of it. That's probably repressing maybe some of the other notes I would be getting if I wasn't getting that. So, or helping out the intensity of flavor. So anyway, but 95 is definitely a good score, and this is really it's really good. I really enjoy it. You can tell I really enjoy it because when I got a little burp while ago, and it didn't make me wince. And everything I'm doing now is just sipping, trying to preserve that last little bit.
Right. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, that high of an ABV beer to be, drinking it down like that, only got a sip left, it must be good, right?
I'm really enjoying it.
All right. So I will give my rating really quick, and then we'll go to Ronnie with his rating of the Michelob Amber Bock. So mine is very good as well. This is a 16-ounce can, and I don't have much left. I probably would have already downed it if I wasn't waiting to give it a review here. But 11.5%, the alcohol is very well matched with this one as well. You can tell it's stronger, though, just because it has that warming effect going down. It's very malt forward. There's no bitterness with this one to balance it out. So if you like malt forward stouts, this would be one for you. It's got nice vanilla notes. It's got that really nice dark chocolate note, a little bit of caramel sweetness in there as well. It is nice and roasty, but it's not charred. I'm not getting the coffee, the almond, or the wedding cake. I don't really know what they mean by wedding cake. I am getting the vanilla, but maybe the wedding cake that they added or the icing from the wedding cake that they added was vanilla flavored as well. So it's definitely vanilla. I'm definitely getting the vanilla.
Well, that's what Alex said.
Right. Yeah, I was going back to what Alex was saying. But then why would you add vanilla and vanilla flavor? Why would you add both then?
Very weird.
Yeah, I think it's more gimmicky in that respect, but it's still very enjoyable. It's still in the A range. I'm going to go with a 94 out of 100. If I was getting the almond, if I was getting more of the wedding cake and the coffee, I'm not really getting the coffee, which I don't really care because I'm kind of tuckered out from all these super coffee forward stouts where the coffee is the only thing you pick up on and it just overrides all the other flavors. I'm definitely not getting that with this, which is enjoyable, but I'm really not getting any coffee. So that's why it gets a 94. If I was getting some of the other flavors a little bit more, I might have bumped it up to a 96, but it's still excellent. It's a pretty solid A. I would highly recommend it. I've never been disappointed by an Evil Twin beer. This is one of those variants. If you can find it, definitely check it out. But it's not listed on the website. It's just one of those obscure Evil Twin beers. But anyway, it's an excellent beer, and I would highly recommend it. So 94 out of 100, and we will go to
Would you
Ronnie
get it
S.
again, John? John, would you get it again though?
I would, yeah. If I could find this again, I would definitely. I bought a single in Louisiana, and I think it was $5, like $4.99 for the single.
Okay.
which is pretty good for this high of an alcohol beer. I mean, it's in the A range. I was okay with paying that for a 16-ounce can.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
16
to
ounce.
trying
How
it.
much you pay for it, John?
I'm not 100% sure, Ronnie, but it was around $5, I think.
Wow.
That's getting up there for 16 ounce.
I
But
mean,
you pay,
even when,
you pay for the if you want to get some good stuff. So.
yeah, this
You gotta
was
pay
one of
that.
those, on my Louisiana trip, and I have never seen it before, so I had to buy it.
You spent
But-
a lot of money on that trip, huh?
Yeah, I did. I spent probably over $300 on beer.
Just
I
on
would have
beer,
too.
or is that beer and liquor?
And liquor. Yeah, I got a couple of different whiskeys while I was down there. So, but you know what?
Right now, John.
John, you
Hey.
only live once.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's true.
You do only.
That's
live
right.
here.
I'm not. Hey, I'm enjoying every second of it. So, and I've got a fridge full of beer. I've still got a fridge full of beer. I
Yeah,
haven't
John.
had
You
to.
don't have to.
This
go
is
to
the
a beer
longest
barn.
I've gone without having to go buy beer. So I'm
That's what I'm
enjoying
saying.
it.
Actually, Peachtree City is hurting because John has not made his entry.
Yeah, I've actually got a couple calls from the
Peachtree
package
City
store.
is hurting,
They're like,
but,
"Are you okay?"
Where's
But New
John?
Orleans
We need him
area
to come and buy some.
is doing
We
really
got
good.
some. We got some new bourbon barrel aged stouts in. We'd like you to try. Why don't you come on? We'll give you a discount. Actually, one of the guys at that store that I'm talking about, Brandon's Package in Peachtree City. He's got my number. He called me. He said, yeah, he calls me about once a week and lets me know about the new beers that they get in. And he knows I like the stout, so he called me the other day and he was talking. They got more of the Brooklyn Black Ops in, and he said they got some new stuff. And he was like, yeah, you got to swing by this week and check it out, man. So anyway,
That's cool, John.
I hope you do that.
I gotta somebody like that, man.
it's kind of a joke,
get
but at the same time, it's like they really do call me and tell me when they get new beers in.
Now,
So,
where is this, John? What store is that?
it's Brandon's Package Store in Peachtree City. They've got a great selection of craft beer. They have an entire aisle of coolers that's nothing but Georgia craft beer, and then of course they have all of the other stuff. I mean, they have a great selection. So. If anybody lives in the state of Georgia, you ever check out Brandon's Package Store.
Brandon's Package Store. All right.
All right. So Ronnie, what are you thinking for a rating on the?
All right. The rating on this
Amber
is I'm gonna give it a 91. I like it, but I'd like in the style. I'd say I prefer the Modelo Negra. What do you think about that? I find that one. It's very comparable, but I think I enjoy that one more.
I would agree with you. I think I think that one's a little bit more bold. It's just got a little bit more flavor. Have you ever had the Dos Equis Ambar?
Yeah,
I
that's
hate to
very good,
drift
too.
out, guys, but I got to take off. We'll talk to you. Hopefully, I'll be there on Wednesday. Thanks.
All
All
right.
right.
Enjoy, Michael. Talk to you later. See you.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask Michael too. Actually, I was curious. In your guys' experiences, have you noticed that this beer is not that well distributed? This Michelob Amber Box.
Well, I've always been able to get it in Alabama and Georgia, but I haven't, I mean, I don't know about other states, but
I
yeah,
noticed
here
it.
it's
I think
everywhere.
in New York it wasn't readily available in New York.
Okay.
I've never looked for it in Kansas, so I couldn't tell you actually.
And have you ever seen it?
I don't remember. I stick with the craft beers more than I do with the macros, to tell you the truth. So I haven't noticed.
I was just curious because it doesn't seem like it's very like one of those beers that you just find. But I happened to find it at like the local gas station here in Florida. But I know like it definitely wasn't distributed like that in New York.
Well, I'll definitely look for it now just to see.
I mean, you can find Modelo Negras all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had Modelo Negro. I don't like it like you guys do, or maybe I got one that was out of date or something. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just
I like it a lot. It's actually one of my favorite beers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you prefer the craft ones, then you might, I don't know. Like if you don't get into macros at all, which I drink both craft and macro, so I can appreciate both of them. But if you are pretty much sticking in the craft, zone, you might not appreciate like a well-made macro.
Well, no, I do drink mostly. If I ever drink macros, it's the little cooler but stubby bottles. If I go into a bar and I'm going to order a steak at a bar and grill or something, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to order the Coors Banquet in the little bottles. That's just.
Oh, okay.
That's mostly all in Kansas. It's readily available everywhere.
Yeah, you know what I've found is that Coors Banquet is not readily available in most bars that I've been to.
Yeah.
Coors Light is all over the place, but Coors Banquet is not very popular in a bar.
Yeah, if you see my belly, you knew I'd never drink light beer.
Hey, man, there's plenty of belly.
Me too, man. These stouts are starting to catch up with me.
No, but there's plenty of big belly guys that drink
to light beer Sunday here.
Real funny, John.
But then nobody would ever join.
No.
Well, I brought up an idea to Ron actually. I think I'm doing like summer beers Saturdays or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I drink stout. That's cool for set, but like everybody's like, maybe you should change it because it's summertime. I'm like, no, it's gonna be Stout Sunday year round.
Nope, I'm with you. I can do it.
I can handle it. I mean, it's not like I'm drinking it outside in the 90. I have air conditioning.
Yeah, we're in the air conditioning.
You're not sitting outside.
Right. I'll survive.
It's cool. In the morning, it's cool at 9:30 here in Kansas. It's usually in the upper 70s, lower 80s. At the hottest, it's in the lower 80s. Usually it's in the upper 70s.
So, the idea with the summer beer Saturday or whatever day, it would only be, a couple of months, up until like September.
Right.
So it's just
that's wrong. I would join. I don't know. I've been working every Saturday. Sunday is pretty much the only day I have off. I've been really busy at work. So
you get out of work, I don't think you're working all day.
Yesterday I worked till about 4:30.
All right, so
it would have had to have been like evening,
have a nice afternoon
Saturday thing.
It doesn't have to be in the morning, man.
No, I know. I don't know. When I got home from work yesterday, the thing I wanted to do was try to get on Hangouts and do what I don't know. I was tired.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let's see. Let's go back to the chat really quick. We've got Friar Tuck says when he was in his early 20s, we used to make late night beer runs into Washington County because Saratoga County stopped selling beer at 1:30 a.m. and Washington County was at 2:30. So yeah, another example of
the
things people do to get their beer. I mean, it's stupid. Why should you have to do that? They should just make it. It should be across the board. I think we live in the the best country in the world here. They need to get
I disagree with that. I think every locality should be able to make their own decisions.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, I agree with you. But for alcohol, I disagree. I want my alcohol when I want it. I don't want to have to deal with these stupid laws.
Hey, it's your alcohol and you want it now.
That's right. It's my alcohol and I want it now.
Hey, John, Friar Tuck hasn't done a beer review for 2 years.
Yeah, he says he.
There you go. Calling him out, Alex.
No, it's okay. He posted a comment in the chat. He says, "I really don't do videos anymore. He wasn't happy with them. Didn't want to make the effort to make the quality. That I understand that. He says he just likes watching other people's videos. He also says, I guess this is talking about the Amberbach. He says he used to be able to find the Amberbach more easily, but it has since disappeared. So he's one of those people that cannot really find the Michelob Amberbach in his area.
That was kind of the point I was trying to get at.
Right. I've never had that problem where I live, but yeah, I guess in certain areas it's
it might be a northern thing because I think Friar Tuck is from New York.
Right. Well, I was born and raised in the South, and it's everywhere here. So. All right, so let's see. Before we go off air here, Alex the Beer Master, what is coming up on your channel? Give us a sneak peek. What are you reviewing next on your channel?
I think it's going to be the Narragansett Autocraft beer.
Okay.
Even though it's a couple months old, who cares? I'll give it a shot. I might have to redo it, but we'll see when I do it.
It's a stout. It'll be all right.
And I might be doing a Narragansett lager.
Okay.
Are you going to be pairing any food with these beers, Alex?
Well, right now I'm gonna just do the beers, and then I think, and then I'm gonna go get another same beers and do a beer food pairing too. So this way, I do beer reviews and some food reviews as well. So we'll see how it goes.
All right.
I really do.
All right.
I'm excited. Thanks to Brandon and John and everybody took and
Don't forget the
Trish
Drunken One.
and Drunken One, because they all finally broke my fear. Finally.
You're doing all right, Alex. Just
All
stick
that
with
matters, as long as you're having fun doing it, that's all that matters, Alex.
it. Exactly.
Yeah, don't let it become a chore, Alex. It's all about fun.
No, it's not gonna be a chore. Look at Brandon; he has fun doing his videos. So,
All right. Well, thank you, Alex Beermaster, for joining me. Thanks to Robert the Whiskey Scout, Ronnie S. Really appreciate all you guys joining. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We wouldn't
before you
do it
sign
without-
off, hoping next time I will have a stout with me instead of reserving, even though you don't mind.
Yep.
Right,
Ditto
right.
For me on that one. Next time I'll make the effort to get a stout.
I'm sorry, Ronnie. I didn't catch that. What?
No, I said same as Alex. Next time I'll make the effort to get a stout.
Oh, yeah. No, that's okay. We had a small group today, so anything goes on these types of Sundays. I'm glad you guys could join. And any final comments before we wrap this up?
Well,
Nope.
I
Enjoyed
want
my
to
stout.
give a hand to John and Neely for having these great hangouts on Sunday mornings.
I think we should.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. We'll go ahead and take this off air. I appreciate everybody watching. Another successful edition of Stout Sunday. Hope everybody out there has a great rest of your weekend.
And stay
until next
tuned for my videos.
That's right. Stay tuned for some more beer reviews on Alex the Beer Master's channel. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Signing